Good evening, good morning, and good night. Welcome to Inappropriate Radio. It's your host, Tashana. Let's get into this. So, hi guys. I hope all is well. I wanted to just kind of come on and just discuss some things that may be affecting us spiritually, without us really being aware of it, right? Now we've discussed like stimuli and the things that we consume, whether it be music, food, just being in certain environments, right? And if you notice, a lot of the conversations we have, topics that we've discussed or that we may need to discuss will come up, right? So everything is still connected, right? Like always. But the creator is prompting me to move forward with the periodic table, but he's like, let's get some of these other messages out first before we presume. You already know you don't have to wait for me to go ahead and go over the table yourself, right? You can do that in your own time. I'm just going over it in a spiritual aspect, and then we're going to start doing little experiments. That's later though, but for now it's just for the sake of conversation and learning and becoming aware before we start delving deeper, right? But just to get back to the conversation, just because someone is good to you or something feels good to you does not mean that it's good for you, right? We know that already, okay? A lot of us are under the influence of things that appear to be one thing, but it's really an illusion, okay? So, this is where your discernment come in. This is where your obedience come in. This is where your ability to hear the creator distinctively, and knowing his voice and being able to separate his voice from all the other chatter, right? From your own emotions, from your demons, from the other influences that are coming, whether it's outside of you or within you, right? You want to be able to hone in on that. And we discussed that, we've discussed the vagus nerve, and we've discussed being able to make the distinction between the creator, your instincts, and all of everything else. That gut feeling, right? That thing deep down inside of you, the thing you can't shake, the thing that's on your mind and in your heart and in your body, right? The thing you feel at the core of your soul, not the thing that comes from your head, right? That can be you or other influences, right? So you have to be aware of the things that are influencing you without you knowing, right? Your understanding of that influence is going to be able to determine how you can shake that thing off of you, get it out of your energy, or how you can use it to your advantage, right? You never want to be in a situation where you feel like you just completely lack control, right? Now, to my understanding, to understand your own choices is going to determine a lot for you. It's going to determine how the heavens open up for you, how the creator moves on your behalf, how your angels move on your behalf, right? All of this is determined by your ability to understand what it is that you're consuming, okay? Because what's happening is you're going to be blind in the spirit. Your chakras are going to be blocked. It's going to be really hard for you to make forward movement. And you have to understand that forward movement is not always physical movement, okay? A lot of this movement and progressing that we see is in the spirit before they can be manifested into the physical. Your internal part of yourself has to be upgraded first, okay? Remember, everything that happens in the spirit, it manifests down into this reality. And even again, we all have different realities. We share a reality, and then we have different dimensions that we can go into within this reality, right? So when you dream, when you pray, when you meditate, when you're daydreaming, you have different versions of yourself, right? Even when you're operating in the role of being mom, right? That's a totally different energy that you have when you're at work, or, depending on your role, right? So we have to start looking at the things that make it hard for us to understand why we're not getting what we want to get. Like I was saying, to my knowledge, a lot of the things that you understand is going to determine the things that are removed, right? God is not going to put you in a position until your level of understanding is adequate enough to operate and be doing certain things. It's just that simple. God is not going to allow you to be a teacher if you're not compassionate, right? And I know right now, we have teachers doing madness and people in leadership roles doing madness, and those things are being exposed for a reason. For our awareness, right? Because you have to look at the downside and the upside. You can't just look at this from one, perspective. So our awareness is not usually something that's congratulating us. It's usually a warning. It's usually, a result of something already bad happening, right? And then we have to be made aware of what's going on so we won't succumb to the things that can destroy us, right? So you have to pay attention to the things that make you feel good. Like the things you submit to that are not from the Creator, right? Or things that are from the Creator that He's telling you need to work on, whether it be your attitude, whether it be your habits, whether it be your emotions, whether it be you working out, you need to eat better, all of these things are contributing factors to how we can prevail in the spirit and in our physical waking lives. Everything is connected, right? You can't have one moving part without the other. Like, think about people that hit the lottery and then 2 years they're like, living in some shed or sleeping on the street. It's because they didn't have all of the parts that were required to be in that particular position. And there may have been some level of disobedience in there, I'm sure, because God doesn't bless people. He doesn't allow them to be blessed unless they deserve it in one way or another. You get the shot and the opportunity to prove yourself, and then you screw it over because you're being disobedient, or because the things that you're attracted to or subscribing to, rather, is not of the Creator, or is something that you should have let go because it's a part of your old energy. It's stagnant energy, right? That you need to probably have disposed of 2 cycles ago. And each of us, according to your zodiac sign, we have different cycles within our cycle, but the cosmos have their own set cycles, right? These cycles go by 1 month, 3 month, 9 month, 12 month, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 9 years, 12 years. Okay. I think after 12 is 15 and then 20, right? It's like different cycles within a lifetime, right? This is why we go through different stages. By the time you're 12, you're at that puberty stage, right? Just think about like the phases of life that we go through and kind of just try to, relate to those numbers, right? Your first year of birth, or the 30-day mark, the 90-day mark, things like that. Just think of life when you think of the cycles in the cosmos. It's pretty similar, right? You have to understand that within those cycles, your soul is set to learn certain lessons, right? Before you're able to move forward. So a big part of the blockages, right? Because we talked about the chakras being blocked and, the zodiac signs and planets that are associated to the chakras and the different types of traumas, or signs, or life experiences that will show you, what areas in your body or spirit, if you will, need to be focused on, right? Okay, so your desires are also attached to that, right? This is a doorway for the creator to come in and distract you, to trick you, to put things in your face that will take you out of the alignment and off of the path that the creator has chosen. Okay, so the topic is not even about like you coming off your path. It's about how to identify the things that you like that you need to get rid of, that you need to get rid of. Now, if this is something you're unaware of, obviously it's something different. The creator will bring it to your attention, or he will just remove it. But the things he's calling out, for you to pay attention to and work on are the things you need to be working on. These are your weak points. These are the things that are stopping you from growing in spirit and in the physical. We have our own understanding, our own perception, our own walks, and just like our own everything, right? But when it comes to the system of the universe, right, and the word of the creator, there are steps that you have to follow that you can't like take shortcuts from. You can't take shortcuts. You gotta take the long road to certain destinations. Unfortunately, we can't take the elevator everywhere, right? Now, granted, the creator has placed some of your desires in your heart. You will know what the creator placed in your heart. And again, these are also things that the enemy can attack, right? And we're going to get into, just how the creator made us and the enemy was aware when we were born into this realm, right? Maybe not when we were created, but when we got to this realm, the enemy studied you, right? Especially if you are set to do certain things for the kingdom, or for the paradise, or whatever you want to call it. There are different things that you will want to know before you get to where you're going, right? You don't want to just go somewhere blind or be in a situation and then mess it up because you were under an illusion, right? Can you imagine someone purposely giving you like a wrong map, right? Can you imagine, having a destination and it taking 15 or 20 years to get there, just to get there and find out that, this place you were going to doesn't even exist, or it doesn't exist anymore, or they moved the location, right? Your ability to discern is going to keep you from being distracted. Your desires are your distractions. They can be, right? If they're not placed in you by the creator, if it's not a part of God's plan for you in your soul, then it is a distraction, okay? No matter what it is. If it's taking away from the reason the creator created you, then it is a distraction, okay? If it's not building you up or leveling you out in some kind of way that will add on to your soul's purpose, it's a distraction, okay? But I'm going to end it here. I do love y'all. I hope all is well. I hope y'all been drinking y'all water, eating y'all fruit and y'all vegetables, and sipping on y'all own tea, because what? It's free. And I hope y'all ready for them babies to go back to school. I know I am because I miss them. Love y'all. Peace.